Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Peekaboo, IKEA Rat, Pudgy, Large, Cycling Brian? Pudgy got some stories about the weed is officially a pre 10 p.m. option now. Yeah, weed is legal to buy in Ohio today, and there's a dispensary at the end of my block, so it has been wild. People parking like crazy, tons of almost accidents. They've been lined up around the building all day long, and we had a massive storm blow through, and just a bunch of stoners standing outside getting soaked. So they would not give up their place in line even for the storm. But yeah. So I'm like, I'll walk over and check that out at some point, but probably be a few weeks anyways. So what's up, Kevin? So yeah. Speaking of other things to tune about, on Saturday I rode out, just wasn't really doing much in the evening. Rode down to take a couple photos I wanted to take. Just did like a 10-15 mile round trip ride. But I stopped downtown Akron on my way back and had dinner at a brewery, Acronym, and then I was like, oh, perfect chance to record a new intro for the live streams. So had my mouth mount. When I've done it before, I've actually mounted the GoPro, so I didn't have to keep a GoPro in my mouth for 10 minutes. But I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna just look straight ahead, do the Lucas Brunel, Terry B, just not turn my head, make it all the way home. So get down here, do the same kind of thing where I come in, turn the lights on, so it would have that kind of continuity. Just look at the back of the camera. It had stopped recording. So got 5 minutes of my ride, and then it had shut off. So my attempt to make a new intro failed. My GoPro is getting a little long in the tooth. It's only 2 years old, but just the amount I use it and the abuse it takes, there's a couple, once in a while it's starting to do something like that or not turn on, or I have to pull the battery to turn it off. It's not enough to even be annoying yet, but I'm just trying to hang on because I'll upgrade when the 13 comes out, which should be just a couple months, maybe a month. They come out in late summer, early fall. I can't remember exactly when, but yeah, mine's starting to show its just, I wouldn't say age. If you use one once in a while, they could last years and years and years. But the way I use them now, just so often, they get dropped, all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I will try again when I get a chance sometime this week to record a new intro. We've had really stormy off and on weather. It was today stormed off and on. Last few days have been like that. So ever since last Wednesday, I guess we got caught in the rain when we went for our ride. But what's up, Office Security? Christopher Webb. The slow rollout of legalizing weed has really made weed overrated. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, what's up, William and Ron? Peekaboo back from another ride. Lost your bike light somewhere? Oh, you were using a GoPro, so you might see where you dropped the light. Nice. Oh, I don't think. Oh, the neighbor who hates me. I don't think he was here today, but they were parking in his spot, even back in the alley. So, me and Dave were just talking about it. I'm not going to say anything about anything that happens for this first week or two, but if it doesn't like die down, which I believe it will, then I will have to tell them like, hey, you're gonna have to tell your customers they can't park back here and stuff like that. But I'm not going to worry about it at first. I personally don't understand the whole waiting in line on the first day when it's going to be legal tomorrow also and next week. So Cycling Brian, I'm sure GoPro likes users who need regular replacements. Yeah, the last view I've only replaced for the upgrades to what GoPro has given us with the upgrades. So I still have, the 11, 10, 9, I believe that all still work. But yeah, I just use them a lot now. So love a good tunabout. Yeah, I think tunabout will move to Matt, using it with the intro. I don't know where that song that I use in the intro. Someone even asked about it when I put all the last few live streams. They were all unlisted, and I put them public again. I don't know, on Monday or something. But someone had asked, like, what is the name of that song in the intro, and I've lost it over all the moves. So
Dylan Casson became a member. Dylan Casson celebrates 41 months of membership. Happy B-Day, Pinecone.
It's actually my birthday eve, so I never did figure out how to get the volume to work on this TV, did we? Talk over the chats because I don't know how to get this thing to work. That should be the one, but test it. No, that's not how I want to test it.
Well, those don't pop up, do they?
Oh yeah, remember they changed it so it finally does pop up? But this segment was still really fun. I obviously enjoyed the challenge, and then it was just really cool going a little more through the woods and off the actual roads for a bit. There we go. It was listed under my graphics. Cross is coming. All right. Got it. Now I can tell what's going on when we get vocals or audio. The gap, you would do all right on 28s. I rode the gap on 32s. No, I rode it on 38s. That was actually my Roger Rivieri. The only thing is the climb. There's that long railroad grade climb, or it's either a climb or a descent, depending on which way you're going in Cumberland. That could be a little washed out and rutted sometimes. You just have to pay attention. You can do it on 28s. You would just have to pay more attention than I would want to pay attention for 150 miles. But the gap is pretty smooth. If you're talking about the C&O, I would say don't do that. especially if you risked any rain, because the C&O get really soupy, and it's also just rougher in spots. Not that you couldn't pull it off on 28s. We pass people on road bikes all the time. It's just I wouldn't want to. But with the gap, you could. If your bike will clear more, I would change them to the widest your bike can clear. But it's all about, man, comfort, you know. So it's cinders. Like most of it is cinders. So. Thanks, Peekaboo. Oh, the patriotic bar wraps. Yeah, Aaron was joking with me, Raymond, because we went riding right after Kristen Faulkner won the women's road race, and Large had put that bar tape on, and I love the red, white, and blue. I've never had that blue bar tape on there. I think it looks great. But I also had thrown on a red shirt and with blue lettering without thinking about it. So Aaron was joking that I had dressed all patriotic for Kristen Faulkner's win. It wasn't intentional, but it was still, yeah, that was such an awesome victory. Both road races were great. What a great course. Pudgy, you and Dylan decided I'm ready to come to Horns Mountain Bike Park with the Gunner. I don't know. We'll see. I know you said it's doable, but that voice in the back was, yeah, that was Cross is coming. I was just playing one of my videos to check to see if me and Dave could hear everything. You said 28 is all you got? Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't mind. Do you have your go and ride bike pass? Like, I mean, do you go and ride, you know, crushed limestone or cinder bike pass on the 28s? And if you're comfortable, then you'll be okay. Yeah. Well, I meant they didn't have to be going the same direction with us. I just meant when we were on the C&O and the Gap Trail, there were people running narrow tires. I said, thanks. Yeah, it just depends on the bike, Christopher. I mean, like, because as I've talked about many times, I changed the old, like, US standard bikes that were like 27 inch, a different 27.1. Some guy like tried to yell at me just over an old video about that. I didn't know what I was talking about when he didn't know what he was talking about. But US road bikes that weren't high-end race bikes came with what were called 27-inch wheels, and I switched those to 700C to get more clearance. And that's even the one I was talking about riding the Gap the first time I ever did it on, is an old road bike that in its original configuration would have been able to clear more like 30, 32, and when I downsized to 700C, I was able to get the 38s on there. So, but with the 650, I've heard of that a number of times, and it just depends on the bike. And if you have rim brakes, you have to have brakes. Then you have to buy long range brakes, or see if you could get brakes that will reach the rims. Obviously, that's the big issue. If it's disc, it's fine. It could make, you know, it just depends. Some bikes are designed to be able to take both. Some bikes are designed to only have one. There could be some handling issues, but whatever. Not any in Louisville, Kentucky. So Louisville. It's Louisville, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky. But was that trail all paved? Me and Aaron did a trail outside of Louisville. I think it's called like the Ring Trail. It's not done, but like, I don't know, 10, 15 miles outside of the city. I guess that was all paved now that I think. Nah, that had some cinders. That was like, wasn't that? I'll have to go back. I didn't make a video about that before I made videos of every ride. So Jordan said, I did the Gap and C&O on 28s. It's doable, but could get real messy if wet. Yeah. If it got, like he just said the Gap, so I do believe the Gap is doable. I've seen people drop out of the C&O with, when it's really wet with like wide tires, so. I have no take on the Poseidon because I've never even seen one in person. Salsa Journeyer is a great bike. A lot of people here have them, so, and sold them like, I know Dirty River sold them like hotcakes during the pandemic. But yeah, I've had a bunch of friends who have had Journeyers, and they can be built up in so many different configurations. So Pudgy has one. So Peekaboo said, "Do it. The worst that will happen is you can't do it." Yeah, I guess that depends on what your situation for getting bailed out is. But like I said, I do think the gap is totally doable. Um, yeah. Yeah, isn't Poseidon's mail order bikes, right? Um, I've only seen like the online reviews, so
It's a cool looking bike.
yeah, they're real budget friendly, right? They're real affordable. They're kind of yeah. Like I said, if you have a good bike shop, I'd go to a bike shop and buy a Journeyer over getting a mail order bike. Plus, if you ever have any problems with the Poseidon, then you're taking it to a place where they know you mail ordered it. Some shops don't care. Some think you're a dick. So, there's shops that won't work on canyons. So, it's just a fact. Parkland? Huh? That doesn't sound right. But let me go to Wanderer. Check it out. I felt like I remember Aaron almost wrecking into someone and having to like skid, and I thought that would have had to be on more of like a crushed limestone trail. But I remember that trail was so nice; it had all new like amenities everywhere. So. Are they gonna have a trail now? Yeah, they call it the Louisville Loop here. Yeah, Louisville Loop Trail. Does that sound familiar? I believe that was a mix between pavement and like crushed stone. It was really cool. It looked like it had little little mountain bike cuts off there and stuff like that. David said Louisville Trail's paved, at least if it's the one I rode past on the horse barns. We also I did a little bit of off-roading down by the river in Louisville, but I don't think any of that was official. They call that the Louisville Loop too. I think down here was all dirt, right? Down here on the riverbank. Yeah, because it doesn't even show up all as official where I was riding. Yeah, so I said Louisville, but it's outside Louisville, obviously. Anyways. Oh yeah, Denise looking out. A lot of videos in and around there. Rides up here in Ohio a lot too. And me and Large rode with her last summer when she was coming through on the O-Tent. Oh yeah, you got the Fargo, yeah. Fargo compared to the Journeyer. Yeah, there's people in here would be better at, Large, and Pudgy would probably know the differences better than me. Suppose the Poseidon would be better for someone who does all their own bike wrenching? Huh, why would you say that?
From what you just said.
Poseidon would be better? Oh, why wouldn't I don't think that makes it better.
Well, if you plan on doing all your bike wrenching, you don't got to worry about pissing off your local bike shop.
Yeah, but you could still buy a Journeyer from your local bike shop and do all your own wrenching.
Well, true, but
best of both worlds. Why was Stream Elements so late at getting here? Oh, someone typed in maps. That's what happened. Hey, what's up, Dimitri? More maps. Huh, it is all paved? I guess it's been... That was a number of years ago, and it was kind of a weird week, because Aaron's dad had been in the hospital. We were supposed to go down together. She came down later. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we went down there to see a concert. That's right. That's right. That's the weekend the band we wanted to see, we didn't think they were coming to Ohio, so we bought tickets down there, booked an Airbnb, and then 2 days after we did that, they're like, second part of the tour dates have been released, and they played Cleveland and Columbus. It still made for a good trip if it hadn't been for Aaron's dad being sick at that time, and us having to drive separate. But yeah, I mean, you don't get nothing. You definitely don't get anything for free. I mean, there's always a trade-off. You know, like people ask about like what's a really good budget bikes. Recommend like a lot of people talk about like the state bikes, but they definitely don't have the same quality or quality control. It doesn't mean they're all bad, but they don't have the same QC as a better bike brand would. But you know, that's how it. I mean, that's how it's going to go. You're going to pay for that stuff. So. Oh yeah, the Fargo. The Fargo's a little more mountain bikey, a little more off-road oriented, I guess. Yeah, I've definitely done the Little Miami too. When we done Ohio to Erie, I believe. I always get it confused because there's the Little Miami Trail and the Great Miami. This is the Little Miami, I believe, though. Right? Little Miami Scenic Trail, yeah. That's a great trail. It reminds me a lot of the towpath up here. And now you don't have to go over this. You used to have to go over this like really horrible section of road, but they finished the trail, so now you could actually ride and avoid it all on bike path. It goes through this big park and everything. That's what I did last fall. Yeah, yeah, made that whole video like vlogging for like 40 minutes. Yeah, Loveland's a cool stop. Some restaurants, some breweries. Right out, they all face the path too. Oh, sorry, William. No, I mean, like I said, we always joke about Trek and everything else on this channel, but I mean, ride what you want to ride what you can afford for sure. So, hey, thanks, Bradley. I was gonna reach out to you. I will still do it in a DM about a question I had about some riding around New York. Something I was thinking about for Nutmeg that I think you've done, but I'll DM you on Instagram for that stuff. Now, and same thing. I always give people a ton of shit for canyons, but I have friends who ride canyons, but wouldn't be my choice. Like I said, we were talking about the new Trek last week that someone was looking at. It's like, yeah, not gonna hate you for it, but I'd rather spend my money with. I just like to spend my dollars with places that I like a little better. So. Yeah, speaking of that, we started to just loosely spitball some ideas for what we do around Nutmeg. No real plans yet. I have to work, I think, the Wednesday before, so probably just drive somewhere on Thursday, get a ride and spend the night, get to Nutmeg on Friday, and then trying to figure out what we wanted to do after, just because that's such a long drive that I always like to make a trip out of it. So last year we stayed in Kingston, New York for a few days and did a bunch of those mountain bike trails and rail trails around there. And 2 years ago we actually rode the OCA into New York City right after Nutmeg. So drove over to Croton, camped there, and then rode into New York the next day, spent the night, and rode back. So yeah, just looking at other options, trying to figure out what to do. So. Neighbor has a 90s Schwinn crisscross. Thoughts on old schooling it on the Gap? Yeah, I mean, the bike I rode was probably a 1981 the first time I did it. So, yeah. We credit card toured it too, so I wasn't fully loaded down, just rear panniers and a frame bag, so just the clothes we needed. And it was Aaron's first multi-day bike trip. So we did at a hotel in Pittsburgh, then we did an Airbnb. Yeah, we didn't do any camping. It was, yeah, just 2 Airbnbs. Yeah, I mean, you could do anything on just about anything. Like I said, it comes to comfort and making sure your bike's like, if you go vintage, it goes to making sure your bike's tuned up and ready to go, and you have the tools you need to fix it, or or you have a way to bail out if you need to. So, because when I was riding the Riviera, uh, Aaron was riding a vintage Schwinn, a 1987 or 86 Schwinn World Sport, I believe, with just a rear rack that I had built up out of kind of a parts build. I think I have photos of us with those bikes. And then, well, talk about doing it vintage. The next time when we did the whole Gap CN and CNO, I did it on my 96 Team Marin with a front basket. So yeah, and that's on 26-inch wheels, but those had some Gravel Kings too, but those are like 2.1s or something like that. Which then I just got a bunch of comments about how my bike tires were overkill for the Gap and CNO. So. Let's see if I have a good shot of our. Oh yeah, this was my setup the first time we did it. So yeah, this is what I mean. I went to the smaller 700C wheels, and then I was able to put in those. I said I believe they're 38s. I don't have the I don't have the same tires on that bike anymore, but I don't have the same bars on there either. Those are the original bars, which are super narrow. I have wider bars on there. So. It's actually a really cheap wheel set that's held up really well. So. Let's see if I have a picture of Aaron's bike. Oh no, she was on her Surly Pacer by then. Is there just a good shot of that bike? Yeah, so she did it on pretty narrow tires. Those must have been. Those were Renaers before they were called that. Those are Compass tires before they changed the branding. Those are probably 32s. I don't think you could fit much wider on a Pacer. Oh, that's right. And we did talk about that. We were basically saying that she just had to pay a little more attention, but that it was doable. So. Yeah, definitely 32s. Oh yeah, that was her birthday trip. We had her birthday dinner in Pittsburgh on that trip. So. Yeah, so that was the first overnighter we ever did, and then the next year we did our first time on the Ohio to Erie. So. What's up, Madison? Tying your aqua bike to the front porch, getting ready for the Debbie deluge. Yeah, I'm hoping that we don't. Tomorrow it's not supposed to rain, so I'm hoping to ride a good ride tomorrow for a birthday ride. Oh yeah, stem friction shifters. The only thing, the way I ride so far forward, I have a problem with stem friction shifters because I'll actually hit my knees on them. So I have to be like conscious when I ride a bike like that. But I'm not 100% sure what year the Riviera is. I say about 81, but it's not even really. It's just Roger Riviera sold his name to a bunch of different bike brands, and it's definitely a French bike, cheaper French bike. But I remember I was trying to match it up with the actual brand that made it, which is like a Saint Etienne, I think, or something like that. And I figured it had to be 79, 81, basically. It's hard to say because someone had turned it into like a hybrid with flat bars and like real goofy riser bars and all this stuff. I've got a few videos about that bike because it was my friend Josh's who passed away. He wanted me to turn it back into more of like a more 10-speed road bike configuration, and then when he died, I built it up kind of as a just a memory thing and build it up like that to go on tours and ride it a couple times a year now. So Kierat, the picture makes you want to go ride your 74 Continental. Thanks. Yeah. That's right, William. When we were getting ready to do the Pit to DC, we were chatting a lot because you told us about the mile marker thing, taking pictures at your uh, how old you are at the mile marker on the C&O, which we ended up all doing. So why can't I scroll through the chat? I wanted to make sure I didn't skip everyone. Thanks, Scott. Yeah. Oh, you were on your trip 3 years ago today. Yeah, we did ours 2 years ago, 4th of July time, because yeah, year before was Michigan, and year before was the Gap, but and CNO. When me and Aaron did it though, that was late August of 2018. But when we did the full trail with a group, that was 2 years ago. I think I got a picture of the bike because the bike I used the second time. Oh yeah, speaking of mile marker birthday picture photos. So yeah, this is the bike I used the second time. So got the 96 Team Marin, the spin wheels that Pudgy gave me for my birthday, which are so badass. Velo orange cranks, and then I think it's an Ultegra group set. Yeah, 9-speed Ultegra group set besides that. So I realized that loading this bike up is probably not a good idea. It's one of the flexiest frames I've ever owned. It's super light. So now I'll more use it as a use the basket when I need to like go grab burritos or something. But I did like having the front fender and stuff. I also since then have leather bar tape on there that matches the saddle. Looks a little better. So I think I got. Oh yeah, Aaron had her Bombora by then. Ben, of course, on his Monsoon still, but that's when he's still at a drop bar. Where's Brad's? Is that just a long way off because he's so much older? Oh, I did just type in the Gap. Maybe it's not popping up because that. Oh, there's Ben's set up a little better. Michael, there's a bunch of places that I wouldn't say general rule of thumb, but there's a bunch of places that have calculators on what they believe you should run. Um, Bicycle Quarterly, I believe, has one. What does the Renair website have the same one up? But yeah, I've just kind of found what works for me, what I'm comfortable with. But yeah, there are sites that have like tire pressure where you put in all that rider weight, width, wheel size, so tubed, tubeless. But yeah, I run my 44s on the Raleigh at about 35, and they're sometimes lower because I don't always fill them up. And then I run my 55s on the Gunner more like 30, but I could probably go lower on that if I wanted to. But you have a 79 Bridgestone with cast aluminum lugs with steel tubes. Also has a quill stem seat post. Quill stem seat post. Not sure I've seen that. Speaking of canyons, what's up, David Geller? Yeah, I love those Velo orange cranks. I wanted to get the ones that look like the Drillium ones, but they weren't in the chain rink size as I liked as much. So, but I still really think these are cool. Shifted well, even with that combination of a 2007 group set on. with a pretty big jump in there, it always shifted pretty good. The mudguard serving as a bag support is almost working more like a brake. I think just didn't quite have enough room. I actually did wear like a pretty good mark into that fender. No disc brakes with spin wheels. That they're way predate disc brakes. So Ben looked to have a monsoon in that pick. Oh, there's Brad. Got to get Brad up here. Well, Brad was on his space horse, and he always has a different setup. I never know what he's going to be on, but because he's been riding his bridge club on the tours lately. But yeah, he's still been using that. I think same rear rack and panniers, but I don't think he's been going with the. I think Ames actually took the Sugarloaf, the Swift Sugarloaf and rack on the last trip we did. I want to design a stem spacer plate with mounts for friction shifted levers like on your yellow bike. Yeah. The, these are just the kind that have that. You just really mount them on the stem with the. They just have that flexible steel piece that you just put right around the stem. Do I have more than one top tube shifting bike? I think that's the only one. Her World Sport actually had index shifting top tube shifters that shifted really, really nicely. Well, the rear one was. The front one was just friction. But yeah, the rear one worked really, really well. The mustache era. Use bikes, bubbers. What's up? Cycling Brian said SRAM has a good tire pressure calculator that works well on a phone screen. Nice. How can you ride with 30 psi? God, that's considered high for a lot of people now. Tubeless. Tubeless, baby. That's how you do it. My Raleigh I'll fill it up sometimes and I'm down to like 22. And if you're off road, it feels great. Yeah. But again, I don't think you'd want to do that with tubes. Yeah, the Velo orange cranks. That's what, with those old spin wheels, I couldn't quite get, I couldn't put like I couldn't get a wide enough range between the derailleur and the old spin wheels, so I knew I wanted the Velo orange crank, so I at least have smaller rings in the front. So yeah, I guess that also matters how heavy you are, and do you have to add that into the tire size and all that kind of stuff. Newbie here, how do you make the ride seem so easy? By riding my bike all the time. I don't mean that to be like a joke. It's true, because people will ask like, what did you train to do the gap, or what did you train to ride in Michigan? And it's like I just ride my bike like all the time. So, and it's hilly around here. I've said that before too, which you just have no choice but to be working a bit when it's hilly where you live. Yeah, and Kyle, like, yeah, some gauges, and gauges go over time. One of the pieces of advice about tire pressure that I've read is like just for use the same pump. You know what I mean? Because different pumps will read differently. So when you find what works for you, use the same floor pump. And they sell more expensive pumps that are supposed to be more accurate. I don't know. Mine's a Bontrager, and I find that when I use other things, it's generally the same. I will even say though, when it comes to riding slightly wider tires, like my 44s or my 55s, if I get a flat or like, blow a tubeless out and need to put pressure back in, I could get pretty close by feel now. And that's, again, just from riding so much and doing it so much. But I could pretty much, I could squeeze the sidewall and tell what kind of pressure I have in there. So I don't think that's unique to me. I think a lot of people get used to that. You wouldn't have been able to do that with a vintage road tire for sure when you're trying to get 90 or 120 or whatever in there. Just pumped it up till it was hard as hell. But yeah, exactly. Who knows what the actual pressure is, but get what you like in there. So I didn't get caught in the storms today because I didn't go out, and that's kind of the reason. But yeah, I haven't looked at Strava today to see who got caught out in the, if anyone was caught out in the storms. Besides the people waiting at the dispensary. Oh, that's right. Brad's using your old Realm basket bag now. That's right. Pudgy, I've totally forgot about the Swift frame bag with everything I've had going on. I am still interested, and I still never tested out Aaron's. I just wanted to see how it works. Because, like I said, I don't want to run housing all the way down that top tube of the gunner. Chris said, need a new basket bag. Your old Trader Joe's bag has been seen better days. Yeah, Aaron actually used mine on the last tour, which is the Roadrunner Velo Orange one. What is? Can't think of what it's called, but they sell a basket bag that I like a lot. Roll top. So. Oh, nice, Peekaboo. Heading out on the trails and doing some bike camping. Well, I think you said too, it's supported, right? So no need to be too nervous. Yeah, tubeless for the low pressure. Still no tubeless on any of your bikes, William? Huh, I didn't know that. Well, my bikes are tubeless sometimes, and then something goes wrong, and I throw a tube in there and just keep running tubes forever. So, but I only have two bikes that I set up tubeless, but they're the ones I ride all the time, I guess. And they're both set up tubeless right now. We'll see how it goes. I just put an extra light Renaers on the front of the Rally, so we'll see how long that makes it without the tube. But 30 psi would be pretty low on 28s. Yeah, I don't run anything with 28s anymore. I'm trying to think of what I think I put 50 in my 32s on my vintage truck. When I ride that, I put about 50 in there. Those are some cool Pan Racers I have on that one too. Oh, it's been miserably humid here. Like, God, can't wait till that. I don't know. I like don't ever complain about the heat, but I'm pretty over like the amount of humidity we've been having lately. Greetings from Rittman. Hey, what's up, Jeffrey? I'm guessing you saw that I just put a video out today starting in Rittman. So. Oh, the frame bag won't create friction. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about the gunner. I don't understand why they routed the cables bare underneath the top tube. Because if you have to shoulder the bike or anything, or when you pick it up, I just feel like you're pushing those cables up into the top tube and scratching it. I don't know. I don't like when they run, the cables underneath the top tube, especially bare. I think it's dumb. Yeah, I guess the Riviera is a little bit like that, but it's more off to the side. So. Benjamin said, always running tubeless, always plugging. I did put the endurance casing on the gunner this time, and I have yet to have a problem with it. And I've got a decent amount of miles on it, like that whole tour, that whole ride up to Ann Arbor. Done a little bit of mountain biking, not as much as I've done in other years. So, but there's been a little railroad gravel rides and stuff like that. So I feel like for a bike with the wider tires that is really going to get like put through the ringer that the endurance casing is the way to go. Whereas with the Raleigh, I wouldn't have bought the extra light casing, except I got a great deal from my friend Eve. He said sold it to me for $5. Said I had to use it, but standard casing, I feel like I'm happy with that. But I need to start plugging tires though. I always just carry a tube and throw in a tube when something happens. Raymond, you said you just found out about the Longer Burger basket in Ohio. Yeah, I just saw a video of someone doing a tour of it because now it's been abandoned for a while. I think they went completely bankrupt, didn't they? Oops, typed it wrong. For those of you who aren't from Ohio, this is the Longer Burger basket office building. They made a building that's a giant basket. Paps, nice you're thirsty. Yeah, I was actually didn't grab any beer last night or today. Today, because me and Aaron are going to go out for breakfast tomorrow, and I'll probably get like a Bloody Mary and a beer or something, so I wasn't going to drink anything tonight. Oh, Cycling Brian, you just got your first tubeless wheel set. Nice. Tubeless has its own issues, but I do find myself feeling way more comfortable on tubeless ever since I've been running it, especially when you're doing mixed stuff and you just all of a sudden going over some rough stuff. If I've been running tubeless and then I put a tube in the tire, I just always feel way more vulnerable with the tubes. But did I miss some comments here? No, I don't think so. Oh, that's right. You were talking about doing the decals last week, used bikes. One decal messed up a bit, but you know you did wrong there now. Decals are always nerve-wracking, but I've always found it that I just haven't really had that much of a problem. I do have some vintage ones I want to put on a bike. They're like new old stock, and I'm wondering if those will work, like if anything's gone wrong with them over time. But TPU internal tubes, any experience? Nah, I haven't messed with them yet. Racer says, I have some 42 specialized sawtooths. Nice balance between cushion, low roller resistance. Yeah. I like the trails down by Chippewa Lake a lot. They were really cool. That inlet trail, like I had no idea. That was so pretty. By the way, this is the last video, the bike ride that we did yesterday morning, me and Ben. But yeah, Chippewa Lake Inlet Trail was super cool. Medina Metro Parks is trying to connect all the way to Cleveland. That'd be cool. Another way to do a loop to make a big century or something like that. So, like we said, the only problem with the Inlet Trail and the Chippewa Lake Trail is just rail trail. Is just that you did have to hit slightly busy roads on one end of them. It was just for a little bit, and they weren't my favorite, but for like me and Ben, they're not going to ruin our ride, but I know some people wouldn't want to be on them. So. Hey, what's up, Sam? Tubes is the new tubeless. Yeah. Hey, Benjamin, it's interesting you say that because when we were just up in Ann Arbor, they had been talking about how much more had been raining up there this year than it had been in Ohio. And, well, even today, did those storms hit Michigan even worse? But, yeah. It's definitely going to be, it's getting a little too hot in Ohio. But then again, the mosquitoes just seem so much worse in Michigan, so who knows? Now you can appreciate bikes that come with good paint jobs already. Yeah. I've thought about it a number of times, but I've never painted a bike. So. Have you painted? Did you paint a bike?
Not like a full, complete. I started to. I got all kinds of paint and plans, but I only made it past to the fork.
I clear coated a bike. I clear coated my Viscount, and it looked fine. Did a number of coats and light sanding, but that's about it. Put cable housings on exposed top two cables so you could strap over the cables. Yeah, I get doing that. I just don't want to. my vintage, like, or not vintage, well, I guess whatever your definition is, my '01 truck mountain bike, all the cables actually run down the top of the top tube, exposed, all three of them, which is kind of different. Yeah, looking across my like old bikes, everyone just does it kind of different. Mushroom Hill said you're thinking about saying F it and riding through the rain tomorrow to Lake Owasting. Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, like I said, this time of year I don't mind getting, like, it doesn't like ruin my day to get caught in the rain. If it's pouring, I rarely head out. But Monday we got a little wet. Last Wednesday we got absolutely drenched. Speaking of that, everyone talks about the Brook Saddle thing, and I was about to say, like, is it that hard for you guys to just carry saddle covers? We went out, we started riding, and it just started pouring. And I thought it wasn't going to last very long, so I'm like, I'll wait and I'll just stay in the saddle to keep the saddle dry. And then when we get a chance, I'll put my saddle cover on. And it just poured harder and harder till we were completely soaked through, and my saddle got completely soaked through. All the leather was totally soaked, and we still had a bunch of riding to do, and it really did like take way more shape on than I wanted it to. But on like Buddy Aaron's advice, when I got home, I knew I was going to put a fan on it, let it dry, and then was going to try and tighten it and shape it. But I stuffed it from the bottom full of towels back to the shape I had it in, and with the fan on it and it being stuffed full of towels, it was totally fine the next day. So.
Maria Inu subscribed to the channel.
Well, thanks, Maria.
Chris subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Chris. Racer, whiskey for you tonight. It's been a long day. Yeah. Oh, Donald, what's up? How you doing? Said, waiting for your Lightspeed Thai bike to arrive in 3 weeks. Doing your last rides on your old bike. Nice. That'll be cool. Jeremy, what's up? Down in Steubenville. It's a place I don't think I've actually ridden through, but I know where it is. Oh yeah, Cycling Brian, you're down in Texas, so a lot of goat head thorns there. Your pals with the tubeless setups don't flat from the goat heads. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Yenzer? How's it going? Here for the cat? Do we got a cat shot? Oh, he's too dark. Let's see. There he is. Just passed right out. He's been there even since before Dave got here, just sleeping since the minute I came down here. You guys asked for an Edmund can, so my parents gave me an Amazon gift card for my birthday, and I got some longer USB-C cables. You're welcome. Decals were from Cyclomondo out of Australia. Very good decals, but I don't know any others. Yeah, I bought like decals that are made, to look old, like for my Barry Hoban, and what else have I put decals on? I've done it a couple times. But yeah, I don't know. There's whoever on eBay has all the knockoff ones. I can't remember what the name of the brand was. TIL was all about the Longer Burger building. I was really hoping that was a joke. TIL?
Today I learned.
What?
Today I learned.
Oh, is that a YouTube channel?
Huh?
YouTube channel?
Shorthand. Like texting shorthand. Like LOL.
Oh. Today I learned about the Longer Burger. Gotcha.
How old are you turning?
I don't know. I don't know all the lingo. Mushroom, you said you've never rode a Century. Yeah. Yeah, I like doing it. If you find other people to do it with it, it's better. But I had a good time when I went up to Ann Arbor. But I think I enjoyed myself because it was almost all new roads for me. So. Is Hawk Tua girl still around? I thought that flash in the pan was over, or 15 minutes, as Warhol would say. Just paint. If you screw up, paint over it. 3 weeks into the paint, not including the rebuild job. Yeah. Oh, we did go to Ann Arbor area, which is notorious a low area which breeds mosquitoes. Ah, gotcha. Wonder if Tim Walz rides bikes. That's the VP, governor of Minnesota, right? I have not. I saw that briefly in my news feed today and a little on the Discord, but I haven't paid much attention yet. So. Yeah, I guess when it comes to painting a bike, like you said, how much work you want to do, how smooth you want to get it before you paint it. You're going to primer it, then sand it, then paint it, then sand it, then clear coat it, and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure it would take Dave years, right?
Yes. You can't just say, yeah, you gotta, I'm drawing a blank. I was trying to do like a sandblasting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had built like my own little box cabin for it. Didn't go very well.
You have built your own sandblasting container?
Mm-hmm.
Did you build your own sandblaster?
I just had an underpowered air compressor.
Oh, so there's an attachment that'll make it work?
Yeah, I didn't build like the hose or anything like that. You can buy that stuff. It's just the booth that you do it in.
Where was Dylan saying that he was riding that, speaking of mosquitoes, that when he had to like run around even when he was trying to take a leak in the woods? That might have been Indiana. Now, he was up in Michigan when he was saying that, I think. But then when we did our bike tour up there by Traverse City, we were so worried about the mosquitoes because everybody had warned us last year, and then we didn't have that much of a problem. The old Shovel Channel makes painting a bike look easy. And again, painting a bike can be easy. It depends on what you want your final results to be. Anything's easy if you do it badly. So, not that old Shovel does. So, hey, what's up, Black Bolt? How's it going? You've been doing some big rides lately. Seen on Strava. Hey, Michael Stark. On the Strava ride with GPS, Strava's caught up a lot. Like a lot of my friends who use Strava for all their rides always use Ride GPS to build their routes. I know that Large still, when he plans our routes, he makes them on Ride with GPS. But that Aaron now uses Strava. I use Strava. I feel like it's gotten good enough, so I'll use that sometimes. I still use, like I've said, Google bike directions sometimes as well, depending on what I'm trying to do. But yeah, Strava has a couple ways to do it. One of the things that I kind of like about the idea of Strava is I just feel like they have a lot of data from their heat maps to help route stuff. But I think it's actually, I think Strava's gotten good enough that it might come down to personal preference, but I would listen to what other people have to say about that. So. Stephanie, what's up? You said you paint all your bikes with acrylic paint, all the colors. Nice. I'm talking about Edmund. If Grandma Nona would get her big bread-kneading arms out of the way. I saw Grandma Nona in a different context today. It was somewhere on Instagram. Someone had...
What?
Yeah, someone had posted a picture of it, and it was just said, like, something about Russian grandmas, so I cracked up. David Roberts, I've never done long sleeve tees in the store, just because I never thought about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things I've been talking about forever, getting together with Micah, getting more stuff made. And I'm running out of the little things that I like to send out that he screen prints for me with the stickers, so I need to. And I was going to message him and be like, hey, can we get together and just, I'll help you out, spend a whole day getting some stuff like that done, stock build up, and maybe I could take some photos for him to help him promote everything. So I need to do it, but just haven't. So one of the things more than the like long sleeves I've been considering is doing some like pre-order like wool ones, because I love the wool t-shirts for riding. So, but that would be so pricey that I don't want to be sitting on a bunch of merino wool stock without having like a pre-order for it. So I'm even older than you. Getting up there, older than I ever thought I'd be. Yeah, I've talked about this a bunch of times. Like, I carry like waterproof bags if I have stuff that I need to carry, like keep waterproof, like those Sea to Summit, the real lightweight Dyneema or whatever they are. But in the summer, I don't bother with the rain jackets at all. I always say you'll be wetter from sweat if I wear any kind of rain jacket in the summer. I'd just rather get wet. And you're right. If I know it's gonna rain, I try to avoid the cotton. But last Wednesday, we were doing a 25-30 miler, and I got soaked in a cotton t-shirt, and it wasn't the end of the world. I was smart enough to wear my wool boxers though, which made that was way more comfortable than being caught in something that would be, that like regular cotton boxers or something like that. But Nathan brought up Kamut. Kamut has actually reached out to me twice about doing a video, and I haven't wanted to commit because I don't want to. I've basically been turning down any kind of either sponsored partnership stuff because in the summer I want to do my rides and make videos about my rides, and I find when I say I'll do something, I just don't end up wanting to do it. But yeah, the Kamut's rep has reached out about doing a phone call, and one of the things I wanted to respond with is instead like, hey, do you want to do a live stream? Because then I could just do a live stream with us. He could explain what they have to offer. You guys could ask questions. I don't really want to do a 10-minute dedicated video where I have to remember things. But yeah, I don't know. You guys could let me know if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, but I don't know. I've been like just bypassing anything that even got offered one we talked about last week, those electronic group sets, and then they came back to me with the terms they wanted from the video, and I said no. I said, if you send it to me, I'll make a video about putting it on a bike, and I'll try it out, and I'll say what I want, but no, your product's not going in the title. You're not going to see the video before I put it out. Like, and they said so they could fact check it. I was like, nah, it's not how I do things. So. Ann Arbor or the battery? No. Scare the shit out of me.
Josh Redlinger subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Maine Outdoors. Thanks for the birthday wishes, everyone. I usually don't tell anyone, but everyone finds out now anyways with the internet, so. Oh, Hawk Tuah girl has been replaced by the Turkish Olympic marksman. Yeah. I love it. I don't think I get enough of those memes. Like, did you see the one where there was just a pile of dead stormtrooper or dead Jedi? It was him instead of a stormtrooper, and all the Jedi were dead. I was like, oh, that's great.
I haven't seen much with him.
They're so good. Or what are we supposed to say now? Like Turkey or something? Did you catch that in the opening ceremony?
No.
They come out and like they had spelled different, and they're like, oh yeah, he says something like Turkey, and he's like, that's how we're supposed to pronounce it now, and it's like, wait, what?
We're just changing names.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Turk was originally like a negative like connotation like during the Ottoman Empire, and so it's kind of interesting that they named the country Turkey and used Turks for so long. But yeah, whatever we are on 100 years on now, we got to switch it up. Lost my spot. I heard that mosquitoes are the Finland state bird. Now, the ride I did in Ann Arbor, Paul, was called Meet Me in Manchester. It wasn't actually in Ann Arbor. It was 20 miles outside. So if you went the more direct route. But I considered it Ann Arbor because we met in Ann Arbor and rode there. So, and the people who are one of the people organized from Ann Arbor. I haven't heard of one hell of a ride. So. Racer, you said you've had the same goal to do custom painted frames, possibly extended to wheels and cranks. Just need to finally do it. Yeah, it's something I used to want to do, and now I just want to ride bikes more than anything. I guess more when I like tinkering with vintage bikes. It was more something that was on my radar. Yeah, Michael, that's Michael, yeah. I used on my for Ann Arbor, the one day I used Strava and the one day I used Google Maps, but I usually tweak them a little bit. So when I was using Strava did I use it for the first or second day? There were some parts that I knew I didn't want to go that direction. I was trying to get up to the North Coast rail trail, and it was taking me a little more direct route, and I'm like, no, I'd rather put on the extra 5 miles and get up to the bike path for a while. So. Spedokal. Strava doesn't let you keep your data. Ride what GPS does. What do you mean? They sell your data, or you know what that statement would mean? Strava doesn't let you keep your data. Ride what GPS does. I'm not sure what.
I don't know what you mean by keep.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by keep your data. I mean, all my Strava stuff is kept, but I'm also a paid subscriber, so I don't know if that's part of it. Donald, you said you started a tradition of riding your age. Yeah, I have a friend who does a double your age birthday, and he's older than me. So I don't have any like real birthday traditions. One, I don't actually care about it that much, but there is a breakfast spot in Cleveland I really like, so me and Aaron are going to go up there. But Wednesday just happens to line up with when I ride bikes with friends anyways, so that's what my birthday ride will be. We haven't even decided if we're going to bring our bikes up to Cleveland where we're getting breakfast, because I wouldn't mind going over to the lake and maybe jumping in Lake Erie after, but we might not even bring them since I'll be riding anyways. Edibles kicking. Oh yeah, Racer, we were talking about that earlier. Plus a lot in the Discord. That was one of the best races I've ever seen. I just really can't believe she beat I mean, the Dutch and the Belgian basically had like dream teams there, and so to beat them, especially with a move like that, was amazing. Mike says I clear coated my face and hair too, burned a bit. Don't do that. Maybe wear a face mask and a hat if possible. Nice. Yeah, I've talked about a cycling cap for years, and the way I'd like to do it now is I have a friend who makes cycling caps, so I wouldn't even have to go online and do like a whole where I'm just building a template. She's made some for Dirty River, so yeah, that's something I would like to do. They'd be a little more expensive though, so. I would like to try modifying a frame like that Freck guy. Yeah, when I watched that little documentary on the Freck guy, I'm like, I would totally love to do this. And then I'm like, I can't keep up on all the hobbies and stuff I'm already doing. I don't need to add trying to modify frames to uh, to the list. But yeah, when you watch that stuff, it'd be so cool. Uh, be able to like space frames a little more instead of just cold spacing them, so you could fit bigger, like more clearance would be like, to me, would be the coolest thing you could do with old bikes. So, when's the next season of Gravel Badass? We've been talking about that since the first season. So I'll be honest, we don't have the hard schedule for that. Something we've always wanted to do, something that Otis at Dirty River has believes can line up sponsors for, but yeah. If I'd like Kamut to stop contacting me, invite them to the live stream. Win-win. Yeah, it's just way easier. I mean, when brands like reach out to, like, a lot of them aren't anything I wanted anything to do with. They're just Amazon Chinese brand type thing. Like, you know what I mean, like lower end stuff. But even the ones that look interesting, sometimes I'd rather just someone be like, do well, like an ad read, you know, like just have an ad read in the middle. Like I could turn off like monetization for the video then too, so you wouldn't see two ads, but it would be me doing that. Just like I think the best thing is like when Dustin Klein or like Terry B like do the pros closet. Dustin does it in a way that's funny. Terry does it in a way that's like really cinematic, so you could still do something that has value or interest level in it. But yeah, like when someone's like, hey, do a whole 10-minute video on this product, I'm like, eh. That's why I like Olight and Magic Shine. They're like feature them in the video, and I like love their lights. So I'm like, yeah, if you send me the new light, I'll put it in the video, and I'll make sure I mention that I like it, because I do. They've never sent me anything I haven't yet, so. But that's the easiest, and then I could just have an affiliate link. We don't do any money with them. They send me a light, and I have an affiliate link, and if someone asks what lights I use, I can say Olight. So. But yeah, for me, I don't want 10-minute sponsored videos. There's no way. I don't. It's not worth it. But Cycling Brian, you said you just watched a couple videos about someone putting one of those electronic group sense on a Walmart Ozark Trail gravel bike. Didn't seem to be an upgrade. Interesting. Yeah, that one just felt like it would be interesting enough to do that I wouldn't mind doing it just to try and set it up and then seeing how it rides. So to me, I wouldn't even care about the fact that, you know, but that's why I didn't do it, because they wanted to turn it more into like something that looked like sponsored content. I'm like, no, I would just take this and try it, you know, but I'm not going to, yeah, you're not going to see the video before it comes out, because if I don't like it, I'm going to say that. So. Yinzer, I gotta say my aluminum old Trek has lasted through all the salty winters I've put it through. I mean, I do try and hose it off and, you know, keep it lubed and all that stuff. But yeah, I feel like aluminum's got to be a little better as a winter beater than a steel bike. It also depends on what your access to getting your bike clean is. So I've mentioned many times I'm really lucky I have a floor drain down here at the back of the studio. So. See you later, Madison. Probably already gone, but yeah. Oh, yeah. Finding places to swim whenever I can. Not enough of them, but. Is it Grumpy's Diner? What was that? I can't remember what that was a reference to. Hey, what's up, Nathan Mace? Cycling caps? Yeah, I know, eventually. Is that lady who was on my show a few weeks ago with the red hair in the Olympics? Ames? No. Ames is not an Olympian scale rider. She's a very good rider for Ohio, but, well.
Sounded offensive.
Yeah, it sounded offensive for Ohio. I mean, there's Ohioans in the Olympics right now. But yeah, World Tour pros are another level. They're still another step above, you know, step above winning the gravel championship in Ohio is still not World Tour Pro level. So stem caps, yeah, I could do something like that with roach clips too. And me and him have talked about a number of partnerships. We have a few ideas of things we want to do. Actually, stuff he would probably do if I just like sent the email and the plans. But Pudgy said alloy commuters are all you'd see back home. Year-round ones, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't looked into what patches cost. I know there's Nomad patches that'll make custom patches. I think that would be cool as well. Like I always said, like it's cool. Like I get a couple orders a week, but to sit on a bunch of money of stock is hard. Like I don't sell that much stuff. So, you know, the custom caps would be easier because I know the person making them. But to do stuff like I said, bigger runs of things is just hard because the cost would be too much. It would be too much per product to sell to you guys. So, you know, when you look at like Pathless Pedal, you know, that's like part of his business, and he's just moving so much more stuff that it's like worth it, and he's probably getting his cost down on all that. He even uses a fulfillment center. If you order something from me, I'm sticking it in an envelope, you know. So one of the things I was supposed to do today at Giant Eagle was grab stamps, and I totally forgot. So now I have to go out and run and grab stamps because I have a few envelopes from the last few days that need to go out. So. Hey, what's up, Colby? Like, I'm actually, like, I was, and I haven't, like, finished it, but there is a playlist on the channel that has, like, the story of a number of my bikes. I think it's about half of them. So, yeah, check that out. There is a playlist that's just called My Bikes, and I do have, like, the story of the bikes on there. So, I think it's better suited for those kind of videos. And basically, the format is I would usually take one off the wall. If I had a couple upgrades I wanted to make, I would do that, then take it out for a ride and talk about it, and then talk about the history of the brand or the model. So yeah, I do have a series like that. It is something I want to finish, but like I always say, one of the big things is I ride the bikes I want to ride, which almost 90% of the time is the Raleigh and the Gunner right now. So. Has anyone mentioned the new Ritchie Montebello yet? No, I just watched that review last night before I went to bed that Pathless Pedal put out. Not review. He did a preview because he has the bike and he's going to review it. But that's definitely like an interesting rando bike. Yeah, I would like to try a bike like that because there's enough clearance to get the wider tires, but it's definitely, road bike, rando bike type vibe. Yeah, definitely niche. And like I said, I already don't ride like my road oriented bikes anymore because like I said, just made a video about a 55-mile ride and I took my gravel bike because it's so comfortable to me. Jason said I've had great aluminum beaters, but when it comes to all-out reliability, you choose steel. Yeah, probably also depends on, right, like how much salt you're really riding through, and like I said before, how easy it is for you to clean your bikes. Yeah, Peekaboo, I've watched the long documentary about Raleigh too. My Raleigh is not by the way, like the Raleigh, Raleigh's like Schwinn. They've been bought and sold, you know what I mean? So Raleigh's just a brand name, and now they're not even like they're just doing some mail order stuff. They're not really doing anything cool at all anymore. So it's too bad. They had that little era, like I think where they kind of came back when they were making like the Tamland and a few other cool bikes. But yeah, it's not a brand I would recommend to anyone anymore if you were buying a new bike. So. Wait, what are we talking about with pooper scoopers here? How much does the Montebello? Did anyone see what the Montebello frame set costs? I actually have no idea.
1,700.
1,700? Yeah, that's not crazy. Triple butted steel bike. Jeffrey, you said you're riding your gravel bike on the Roscoe Rambler. Yeah. Oh, you mean I should sell bags that are branded? We have a definitely seen that. Swag.
Like that's what the poop bag, pooper scoot, and just start putting your name on everything.
Oh, I just Donald Trump it. Yeah. Bunch of cheap projects with my name all over it. One thing you miss about GCN is the collection of cycling documentaries. They're back. You just have to become a member of their channel, so you can see all the documentaries on GCN again. So, I haven't looked at the price range because I think I'll wait till winter and maybe like do a GCN membership in the winter when I actually watch a little bit more. Plus, this summer I'm barely even watching any YouTube because Tour de France, Olympics, then Tour de France Femme will be right after the Olympics. So, Large said Velo Orange Rando for your money over the Richie. What does the Velo Orange cost?
925.
925. Wow, that's a considerable difference. Is the Velo Orange just called the Rando?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing the. Yeah. Looking at the, I mean, like I'm not picking either one of these up, but the geometry differences and the weight differences. I got to assume that Richie's considerably lighter, right? Oh, that's right too. The David, but the Montebello is a carbon fork. That's probably what that in itself is going to jack the price up a ton. Whereas the Velo Orange is full steel, I believe. That's going to make up a ton of the price difference. So. Yeah, Jason, like I said, the bike I ride in the winter now is a 2001, and I've been riding it as my winter bike for at least 5 years. I don't know. I'd have to go through photos and stuff like that. But yeah, just hosing it off, drying it off, lubing the stuff that moves. So not everyone's good at that. So yeah, Colby, subscribe during Zwift season is exactly kind of what I had in mind because that's when I watched the most of those documentaries when GCN Plus was out. Christopher Webb, yeah, there's over in Warren, Ohio, there's a Schwinn branded store, but I just think they've never repainted their signs, you know. The Polyvalent is a slightly different bike, right? There's actually a Velo Orange Rando. That's a newer bike. Do they? I know Pathless Pedal mentioned that bike as a comparison. Do you guys consider the Polyvalent a rando bike? I always considered that a gravel bike, or just or a bike packing bike. I never really thought of that as a rando bike, but not that you couldn't use it for that. But let's pull it up. I just messaged them the other day on Instagram when I was riding up to Ann Arbor about how much I absolutely love the granola bars. They just got a ton of new stuff in, or they're about to show it. Oh, so that Rando All Road is the one. Yeah, 900. Oh, I don't have it up here. Whoops.
Yeah, but it's significantly different. It's rim brake.
Oh, rim brake. Tire clearance, ideally designed for 700 by 32, 730 max, 700 by 38 max using rear-facing dropouts, 700 by 25 with 38 millimeter fenders. Didn't the Montebello have more clearance than that though? The weight in medium size for the frame is 4 pounds 9 ounces, 2 pounds for the fork. So I'm guessing, yeah, that the Montebello would have a much lighter fork, right? Do I feel like non-e-bikes are a dying breed? No. No, there's a ton of us sitting here talking about them right now, so, and talking about other channels that are 10 times bigger than this that are talking about. No. E-bikes are still, I feel like the majority of people riding e-bikes were not riding regular bikes, so no, I don't think it's having much of an effect.
Not that I'm one to really. I'm sitting here looking at eBay for an old '80s bike.
Yeah, no, I don't think e-bikes are eating that much into the regular bike margin at all. I think people who want to ride regular bikes are still going to ride regular bikes, so not going anywhere. Garmin or Wahoo? I use Wahoo, but I'm not like anti-Garmin in any way. I've never used a Garmin. I like Wahoos because I wanted something small and simple, so I use the Bolt V2. I know people really like Garmin's who do a lot of on-the-fly mapping. You want touch screens, want like the road names on the maps. I use my Wahoo to record my route or when I have a pre-planned route, so it does what I need it to do. But if you want a computer that does more, I would recommend Garmin's to people. So I use a Wahoo, but it doesn't mean that I'm not like a Wahoo fanboy. You know, I would, if someone was asking me as like a bike nerd what they should get, I would be like, what do you want out of your bike computer before I answered that question. So thanks, Used Bikes. Nathan says Wahoo, and they've used both. Oh, Stephanie just said they have a Schwinn store in Warren too. That's what I was saying. But he said Wahoo here for head units, Garmin all day for watches. I used Garmin when I did use watches when I still ran before I had sciatica, but I never used a Wahoo watch, so I have no idea. Do they even make them? Sure they do, right? Jason Gray said any shorter routes in southeast Michigan, Toledo area that would be good for a 13-year-old. That's the part of the trip that I didn't like as a 46-year-old, so there'd have to be someone better to ask. But there were bike trails in Toledo, so I would just look up the bike trails. But yeah, route-wise, like I said, when I was passing through, that was the part that I enjoyed the least. Wabash Trail near Toledo. That might be what I was on. Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Natty. Wahoo's got to work in Europe. Almost all the pros use Wahoos.
Jim Mackay subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah. EF uses Wahoos. A lot of the teams seem to use Wahoos, so yeah, shouldn't be any issue in Europe. Thanks, Jason. What ride is the D2R2? That sounds familiar, but I can't remember. I don't know if I'm doing anything organized before Nutmeg, to be honest. I have a couple of work trips I have to do that are probably gonna. I'll probably get something in there, but. Oh, I have looked at this one before. Why is this screen so far off the screen? That made a lot of sense. Oh, August 17th. That's when one of my work trips is. I'll be in Boston. $180K. Where is this? This sounds so familiar. I was just looking up gravel routes for my way to Boston. Is that where? Is this in PA? Oh, Green River Tour. Still haven't found out where this is. Plan your visit. Deerfield. Deerfield. Where's this?
Massachusetts.
Oh, Massachusetts. All right. That makes sense. Oh, okay. I see where we're at now. That's a little. I couldn't do it on that day anyway. I'm literally working on August 17th. But I've been trying to find. I don't want to drive all in one shot, so I've been looking for some gravel rides to do on the way out there, but that's too far. That wouldn't split up the drive enough. So. Bubbers. Yeah, I don't think I could ever do my own wheel building just because I don't have the patience to learn it. I feel like you'd have to do it enough to get good at it. But you can always build the wheel and then have a shop dish and true the wheel. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I mean, most shops aren't going to have the time to do this, but during the pandemic, Erin built her own wheel at Dirty River with their guidance. But I have seen shops that have wheel building classes over the years too. Racer said your real question on the Ritchie is what would it cost to build it? 3K ish on the lower end. Yeah, what were we saying? The frame set is 1,700. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd be easily into 3,000 on a cheaper build. So. And not, you know, Massachusetts. How's Cycling Brian? You built some up? I don't remember if I knew you had done that before. Brattleboro, Vermont is actually one of the one place in Vermont that I've been. Oh yeah, like in the south there. So long ago, pre having like smartphones, so you don't. Unlike now, don't always remember where everything is. We tried to trade kids cigarettes when we were drunk to get them to jump off this bridge. I remember that though.
Did it work?
They were saying they would do it, and they were talking a really good game, but yeah, they didn't end up doing it. That's got to be the bridge. We were drinking Bloody Marys at breakfast, overlooking the river. So, Waystone Station, it was probably right there. That was a long time ago. My photos from that are film, and not because I was doing it because I was a hipster, because I was doing it because digital wasn't out yet. Did I have any of that on the screen ever? Oh. Yeah, I think the patience is one of the problems I would have too, Yenzer. Certain things I'm really good at being like meticulous about, and I don't feel like wheel building would hit that for me. Have you ever built a wheel?
Not like built from scratch, no.
I feel like I know I can't build a wheel because I've tried to true a wheel and I got frustrated.
I mean, I rebuilt one again, going down to like painting. Like I'd taken one fully apart, but you kind of everything was like kind of already like bent, so you could fit it back. You didn't have to do much.
Yeah. When I used to always ride my Peugeot and even ride it over like really gnarly stuff, the wheels always went out of true, and I tried to true them, and I would get frustrated just doing that. So something I really should take all these old wheels here and teach myself how to do. Well, it made more sense back then because I was always bending them. Now that I don't ride wheels like that, and they're never going out of true anymore. It cost me so much money to keep my wheels true back in the day. Building wheels is a good excuse to buy new bike tools. David, I've been incredibly lucky, and I think about this a lot because I know a lot of people who have talked over the years about like not doing certain rides anymore because of dogs. I just have rarely had issues. So I know Aaron has some dog spray, but yeah, I don't have an answer because I just haven't had to deal with them. So yeah, this already makes me glaze over used bikes. Yeah, Yinzer, that's usually been my, like, if a dog is barking, I get up to speed real quick and try and get away. But I know that doesn't always work. It's always worked for me so far. Yeah, ride faster is the advice for dogs. That's just kind of what I've tried to always do. So, you really, and if you're with friends, the only thing you have to do is not be the slowest, you know? Yeah, replacing spokes. Yeah. Just, yeah. Something I should know how to do, but something I don't. Spray dogs with the water bottle. Yeah. Oh, it's already 10:30. I need to wrap this up. I got a birthday brunch to get to. I actually, I actually unfortunately gave a guy an option on a meeting he wanted to have of tomorrow at 8 o'clock because we're leaving at 9, and he said yes, so I actually have to be up and awake. Do you see all those Continental belts upstairs? A bunch of belts from Continental, the tire company.
Peter Kim subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, I have a bunch of belts that I have to photograph here, and the guy wants to go through to make sure they all have the updated logo, so that's my first order of business on my birthday. So I said I'm here all afternoon. I'm free Thursday and Friday. Then if I had to, I could do 8 o'clock tomorrow, and that's what he picked, of course. I usually don't tell people anything beyond 10 o'clock, but before 10 o'clock.
As you shouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, a dog whistle. Yeah, I've never even thought about using a dog whistle. So, all right, yeah, let's get out of here. Gonna try and have another new video out on Thursday. I have 2 videos completely cut together that need voiceover. One is like a month and a half old that I just, with all our trips and stuff, I keep making those videos first. And then one is the one I mentioned last week where me and Aaron went out to Bedford and mountain biked for the first time. So yeah, just got to finish that one off. So be something. Other stuff coming. Should be live streaming again next Tuesday. I don't believe there's anything else that would stop us from doing that. So start missing some as we get into the fall because again, back to all these UA events, but hopefully be able to move them to Thursday if that's what happens. Thanks a lot, Bradley. like I mentioned, I'm going to reach out to you via DM here soon when I kind of get what I was formulating in my head, because I think you might have, I think I saw that you'd have the answer for it. Anyways, everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for the birthday wishes. See you in the next one. Where's that?
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is our
Fitzwater photo.